The higher you go, the better, as far as cohesion goes, as far as lack of conflict goes, all the way up to nations. If you have a tribal identity as an American, as a Canadian, God knows why anybody would want to identify with Canadians, but yeah, apparently they do. The higher up you go, the better. If you can get people to identify as that specific thing, that one thing that they can all agree upon that they all are, the better. You're going to have a much higher degree of unity. Cohesion, that's where the cohesive narrative comes in, the national myth, because then once you've got all these people together believing that they are part of this thing, that they are this nationality, whatever, then you usually have done a pretty good job at creating a national myth, origin story. A lot of it's bullshit. It's bullshit, a lot of bullshit based on a lot of fact. But it's the thing that brings people together. It's the thing that generates a sense of pride in who we are and what we're doing and where we're going. The higher the identification, the higher the degree in unity in which you're probably going to live. When you start splitting the population, cleaving them off, chopping them off from this bigger, unified piece, then you've got intertribal conflict, fragmentation, self-interest, group interest, micro-interest groups take over and start advocating for themselves, right? How far down the identity politics, the identity tribal conflict road can you go and still keep your society intact, stable? That's been the revolutionary playbook for forever. Agitate, cleave people off, particularly in this country. We like to hear how diversity is our strength, that multiculturalism is the way to go. It makes everything better. I'm going to shock you. I don't believe that. I think it has its advantages. It's nice to be able to say you're a nice, diverse country. Realistically speaking, is that true? Is it true that multiculturalism is a benefit in a super society? Or is it inevitably going to be prone to infighting as someone figures out that you're going to be able to create discord, destabilization by pitting each of these diverse groups against each other at some point? Multiculturalism works, but only if you're operating. Your society is functioning at that highest level that I was talking about before. Americans. Functioning under the same cohesive narrative, the foundational myth, that we all believe we are Americans first. And anything else other than that really doesn't matter. But once you start turning them into ex-Americans, African Americans, Latino Americans, that's the tribe that these various groups, X. That's what they identify with. And if they start wanting to, advocate for themselves, if they start getting the agitation propaganda of oppression, once that starts to kick in, and once that's weaponized, what's the ultimate destination then for your society, for your super society? Once you have the internal groups, all of these various factions infighting, what's the destination? Where are you going? Cheat sheet, nowhere good.